Hello, miners, crafters, and creepers, and welcome to the first episode of how to make a 16-bit character in Minecraft. Today we're going to be making Setzer from Final Fantasy VI, and the other character that I make as well is going to be from Final Fantasy VI, but you'll see that in the next video. But for now, as I said, we're making Setzer. It's not going to be too long of a video because I sped this up like 10 times. So I'm actually going to try and put a counter down at the bottom and see how that works. So there's a few things you're going to need to make a 16-bit character. And I'm gonna give you a little tutorial here so you can see. So the first thing you're going to need is lots and lots of wool. I would recommend getting too many items and just spawning in every color of wool. Because then you can just be ready. If you want to get all the wool the natural way, good luck. Because not only do you have to get like more than 100 wool for this, you also have to get all the dye for it, and that's just a pain. So unless you want to do this the real way, I would highly suggest getting the too many items mod. Essentially what that does is you can choose how many items you want of whatever you want. In this case, I chose wool, as you can see at the bottom there. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is go to Google and type in the name of whatever character you would like to build. For example, I typed in Final Fantasy VI Setzer Sprite. Now I found these pictures that someone had made, and I'll put them in the lower right hand or lower left hand corner. I'm sorry. I found these pictures that someone had made these characters out of beads, and each of these beads represented one pixel, but they were more clearly defined, more clearly separated, so I could actually see what each color of the pixel was supposed to be. So it was easier to separate them into blocks that I could use as wool blocks, and that's how I did this. So I just followed one for one. If I saw a black bead, I would put down a black wool. If I saw an orange bead, I would put down an orange wool. Now for the skin color, I used sand because there is no tan wool. So sand is, in my opinion, the closest thing that you're going to get to skin color. I tried using pink wool in another statue, another 16-bit statue, but it didn't really look that good. So whatever your preference is, maybe it's just my texture pack right now. I'm using Doku Craft on the high version of that. So in my opinion, sand looks more skin colored. And here I am spawning in more wool. You can just do that whenever you need to. And that's about all there is to it. Just keep doing it row by row, left. You can do it left to right, left to right, left to right. What I did is I would do it left to right on the first row, right to left on the next row, since I was already on that side. Now, some things you may want to consider are having single player commands. Unless you're on the multiplayer server, then you don't need to have that, but I would suggest having single player commands if this is on your single player server. The reason for that is, as you can see, I have to kind of hop around on each block and have to get on top of each one, and then it's kind of a little difficult, and I can't see what I'm building as I'm building it, so I can't really see if it looks good yet. And if I wanted to change something, then I'd have to go all the way back through to what I had already put down to change that thing. However, if you install single player commands, then you can just fly around. You can use the command /fly and fly back, take a look at whatever you want to take a look at, and go back to what you're building. You don't have to do it row by row. You can go up a little bit, go down, diagonal, a little bit like that. So I found it helpful in the next video where I show that off. But you do still need that cobblestone bridge or whatever bridge you want to make that out of at the bottom, because you need a kind of cornerstone to put the first wool block on, because obviously you can't just put the first wool block floating in midair. It has to be connected to something, which is why I had to build that cobblestone bridge all the way from the ground. And I had some cobblestone, so I thought I might as well. Anyway, that's about all the tips there are for this. Just make sure you don't get lost. Do it row by row. And the reason I chose this location here is because I'm actually going to build something in between this statue and where I build the next statue. And it's going to be pretty cool. It does have to do with Final Fantasy VI, and it's going to be huge, and I'm really excited to do it. Might take a while, but I'm not going to use too many items to do it. So I'm just using too many items for wool, and a few a few rooms in my house back there. But for this, no. This is, or sorry, for the Final Fantasy 6. Wait, I totally just said it. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm sorry. For the Final Fantasy 6 building that I'm building. Oh, hey, we're done. Okay, well, I'm going back to show you guys right now. Well, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking because there's Setzer. It's kind of hard to see because there's clouds there, but I'm gonna build up a little bridge here. And there he is. So I told you guys it worked. If you want to go try it yourself, and I hope it goes well for you. And stay tuned for the next how to build a 16-bit character in Minecraft. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like what you see.